Okay, and I am recording. All right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night webinar. And again, we're doing things a little bit differently tonight. We typically have a Thursday night webinar that is a generic marketing training webinar designed for you and your audience to bring value to both you and your audience. We really want people to get this marketing thing. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. You could have the best offer. But if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter. But the reverse of that is also true. Once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing tonight. I do still want to give you some training value for coming out on tonight. We're going to take the first part of the webinar and give you some updates on Divvee. And then we're going to do some training on Divvee. I want to make sure you understand some things in terms of maximizing her. And I'll also give you some updates on Click, Rank, and Bank, and we'll weave in some marketing training in that as well. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go over some of the updates. They did on Mondays and Thursdays now is when corporate does a Facebook Live, and that address is Facebook.com/Divvee. Okay, pretty simple. So you like the page, and they do a Facebook Live. They do that Facebook Live at 4 p.m. U.S. Mountain Time, and that means 6 p.m. New York time. Okay, so if you don't know what time that means in your part of the world, you can always go to timeanddate.com. Okay, timeanddate.com. Now, obviously, if you can't be there live, the great thing about Facebook Live is that the Facebook Live is recorded. So you can always go back and take a look at the recording. Okay, so from today's Facebook Live, here were some takeaways as I was taking some notes here for tonight's webinar. Number one, now this is for those of you who've not yet registered. Okay, so the majority of you probably have not registered. You heard about it after they were taking enrollments. They took the site down for enrollment so that they could do all of the stuff on the back end. They were only expecting about 5,000 folks in their initial pre-registration, and it wound up being a couple of 100,000 of folks. And so if you're planning for 5,000 and you have 200,000, that's a big difference, okay? And so they took things down. They knew they had some bugs. They wanted to squash those bugs. The bottom line is they didn't want to open it up and still don't want to open it up prematurely. And they're still going to have bugs when they open things up. I mean, that's just how things work. But they want folks to have a pleasurable experience. You don't want to have a situation. One of the things that can kill companies is that they grow too fast too soon. So I applaud them for taking the steps to test and test and test and test and test and retest. With that being said, there's some of you that were able to get into the system before they took things down. And I think what has it been since the first part of February, we've been able to rank and share. Now, there was a question that came up this past Tuesday about the use, I think Charles Howard asked this, about the use of the offer wall. Now, for those of you who are not in the system, you won't know what the heck this means just yet. They said something today. This is the first time I remember hearing them say anything about it. But they did make a comment to use the offer wall, okay? To use the offer wall. And let me tell you real quickly, give you some examples. In the offer wall, there are a number of different activities that you can participate in. And when you participate in those activities, you'll earn points and you'll earn coins. Now, right now, we cannot see points. Right now, we cannot see commissions. So they're going to let us know when they're going to take the site down. They expect to take the site down completely for a couple of days. They call it going dark. and doing some more fixing back there. They're going to be moving to a much larger server, which, again, is good news to hear, so that they can, so they have the server space and the bandwidth to withstand the onslaught of numbers that's going to come into the system. But I just went right before we got onto the webinar, and I went to one of the offer walls, and I just made some notes of some of the offers there. So there was a game here. If you download the game and you upgrade to level 5, now I don't know what that means. I don't know. I downloaded the game. I don't know what upgrading to level 5 is. I don't know if that means I don't know. Okay, but you would earn 440 coins. Now, there's 3 things we need to be aware of. There's when you're doing your activities, you earn something called coins. Now, they have not really told us what that really means, what we'll be able to do with these coins, what impact that's going to have on our business or to our bottom line or what have you. We don't really know what these coins mean just yet, okay? Now, if some of you have used other apps and games or what have you, you've earned coins before, I don't know. I don't know what this means for us. The points and the commissions are not yet showing. When they take the system down, all right, when the system goes dark, as they've said, when it comes back up, we should be able to see the points that we're earning for each activity, and then commissions as your team is taking advantage of the activities. Now, obviously, for many of you, you won't see any of that yet because you're not in the system yet, all right? But we're getting there to get folks in the system. So I just wanted to show you that those of you that are already in the system, go on and start taking advantage of the offer wall. No, we don't know what it means in terms of points, but here's an example. Here's a Mobile Strike. If you download Mobile Strike and you upgrade to level 10, don't know what that means, you earn 1,540 coins. So what they said is with the offer wall, you're not only earning these coins, you're also earning points. Now, we don't know right now how many points each activity produces. All right, we don't know right now what a point is worth in terms of an average. What we have heard and what they've been consistent with since the first time I saw a video with the CEO talking about the commissions is they have consistently said or used as an average or as a target as it relates to commissions, 10 cents per activity. And they have said there might be some activities that will be less than that. There'll be a lot of activities that will be more than that. All right, we'll get into the commissioning. Well, no, since I'm here, let's do this now. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the deal is, give me a moment. All right, so here's the deal. All right, so you've got coins. Let me just make sure everybody, okay. So you've got coins. And right now, we don't really know what that means, okay? Then you have points, all right? The points are the things that we will earn from our personal activity. When I do an activity, what they refer to as rank and share. When I watch a video, all right? A 30-second video about an app, and whether I choose to download that app or not, just for me watching that video, I'm going to earn points. Now, points will be redeemable in the Divvee Gift Center, which is basically a website. All right. Well, you'll be able. As a matter of fact, let me just kind of give you a sense of that. If you're newer, bear with me. Okay, so for instance, here's the gift site. All right, there'll be all types of things: consumer electronics, everything from smartphones to laptops to TVs, cameras, luggage and bags, watches and clocks, and what have you. And what we have been saying to our audience, even ultimately travel packages, what we've been saying to our audience is once the gift cards are available in your country, okay, then you're going to want to redeem your points for gift cards. Gift cards of things that you would normally make purchases of. So if you would normally make purchases at Walmart or Amazon or eBay or go to Red Lobster or Olive Garden, those are a couple of restaurants that are pretty big in the U.S., then take those points, redeem them for gift cards, use the gift cards to buy the stuff that you would normally buy, and then the cash that remains, because you didn't have to spend the cash, we would use that cash, or at least a portion thereof, 50% minimum, to as much as 100%, this is our messaging to our audience, to reinvest or recapitalize back into our business in the form of having the proper tools, the resources, and the marketing, the paid traffic, so that we can start to get this message out en masse. Okay? All right, so points will be the things that we earn from our own personal activity, and then commissions will be what we earn from the activities of those on our team. Okay? All right, so I'm going to come back and I want to make sure we understand the 3x10 matrix, because that's huge. Okay? All right, so when we are doing activities at the offer wall, or watching the videos, or the number of activities that they say will be coming, okay, we're going to earn points. We're going to be able to redeem those. Once you have gift cards in your country, you want to redeem those for gift cards. Use the gift cards to buy the stuff that you would normally buy. The cash that remains in your purse or your wallet, by not having to spend that money because you did use the gift cards, we refer to that as a cash equivalent. You're then going to take that cash, and a percentage of that cash, minimum 50%, if you're following our recipe. Now, you're big boys and big girls, so you could, just take that cash and do whatever you want to with it. All right. But if you're wanting to scale to a 6 or a 7-figure business, and that is our message with Divvee, scaling to a 6 or 7-figure business, even if you currently suck at marketing. Okay. All right. Because marketing is really a function of, here's marketing. All right, here's marketing. Let's interweave some marketing training here. Marketing is, one, consistently driving high quality, laser targeted traffic to a lead capture mechanism. So somehow you're capturing a lead, whether it's by email or whether it's by text, SMS text, all right? A lead capture mechanism, okay? When they go to the lead capture mechanism and they opt in, that then takes them to an automated sales presentation. We will continue to do live webinars, but ultimately to scale, we want something that works for us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. There's some folks on the webinar now from the UK. I appreciate Cristiano being on the webinar from the UK. I appreciate those in Australia being on the webinar. But the reality is, a lot of Cristiano's contacts and maybe prospects, let's say if they were also in the UK, aren't going to stay up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is over there now, to get onto a live webinar. So we need to have an automated sales presentation, all right, that shares our solutions to their problems. So it's not just a bling bling presentation. We want to highlight struggles, frustrations, pains that the marketplace is dealing with, and then we want to be the ones bringing the ointment and the healing and the salve. Okay, so here's marketing. We're consistently driving high quality laser targeted traffic to some type of lead capture mechanism that when they opt in immediately, there is a sales presentation that shares our solutions to their problems. We want to highlight their problems. We want to pour salt on the wound. We then want to present the healing, the ointment, the solution, and they're more inclined, if we have a presentation like that, to take us up on that offer. However, we have to understand that most people are not going to join right away or buy right away or what have you, okay? So then what we have to have, and this has been a huge missing link for most people, okay? Even if they did a traffic campaign, even if they took them to a lead capture mechanism, even if they had a pretty good sales presentation, where there's been a missing link is a robust follow-up system that delivers over the top value, so that we know that most people are not going to buy the first time they see and hear the message. Most people are not going to join the first time they see or hear the message. So what we want is when someone opts in to our lead capture mechanism, whether it's email or whether it's text, we want to make sure there's a robust follow-up system that delivers over the top value. So that if they're paying any attention, and not everybody will, a percentage will, if they're paying any attention to our follow-up messaging, they are seeing and hearing something they've not been getting in the marketplace. Because what they've been getting in the marketplace primarily is buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Join me, join me, join me. Now, each of these messages will have a join me somewhere in the messaging, but only after we've wrapped the join me, we've wrapped the pitch, we've wrapped the offer in value. So here's marketing, ladies and gentlemen. Consistently driving traffic to a lead capture mechanism with an automated sales presentation that doesn't just talk about bling, 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 okay? It's got to talk about how this offer is going to, first it's got to talk about their pains, okay? Get them talking about their pains. Oh, ow, ooh, ooh. Now, of course, I don't mean physical pains. Their pains in marketing, their frustrations. Here's the solutions, all right? And you're presenting your offer from a solution-based, value-based standpoint. There'll be a percentage of people that immediately will see it and will join you. Most won't. Most won't. So then we've got to have a robust follow-up system that delivers over-the-top value. This is how we start to build a bond with our list. And remember, ultimately, what we want to build is not just a list. We want a rabid following. We want folks that if a deal dies tomorrow, they're not going anywhere. They're waiting to follow our lead into the next deal or for the next offer or what have you. That's what we want to create. That's more than a list. But in order to start creating that, we've got to have a robust system that delivers over the top value. Okay? Now, here's been the problem. It's not that people suck at marketing. It's that either they didn't know these things or they don't have the resources to consistently drive high quality laser targeted traffic. By the way, I will tell you that I just recently got access to a traffic course. We will be sharing this. Actually, I'm going to have the gentleman who put the course together. We'll ultimately have him coming on to a webinar. I was absolutely amazed when I got into the course. You know, a lot of times with traffic courses, it's a lot of fluff, all right, to justify the pricing of the course. This was very simple, to the point. You could be starting to drive traffic whether it's to the capture pages that we'll have developed for you, for those of you that leverage CRB, or whether it's something else that you're promoting. You'll be able to start driving traffic in the same day, really. I mean, it's that simple. It's a traffic method that I've never used, so I'm going to use it. I want to get some results from it. As a matter of fact, he got in touch with me today and showed me a screenshot of the leads that came into his system today with that very, very simple method. Now, you know, I'm really big on paid marketing, okay? This is a free marketing technique, and it doesn't require a lot of your time. It would require you to get the course so you can see how to put it all together. It would not be integrous of me to go in the course and then teach that to our audience, because you know, one of the ways that he makes his money is he does these courses. So instead of me doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to have him to ultimately come onto a webinar and share about his course, and you'll get a chance to get the course if you would like. But I believe it's going to give you a huge competitive advantage over those that don't have it, and it will be a way that you'll be able to consistently drive high quality laser targeted traffic, even if you're starting off on a shoestring budget. Okay. Now, one of the reasons we're promoting Divvee is the fact that people are going to be able to generate revenue in the form of those points, okay, converting that to cash equivalent to the gift cards so that they will ultimately have a paid marketing budget. So while I'm going to want you to consider that particular traffic method once we share it with our audience, all right, you always want to have multiple traffic methods, and you want to have something that is a paid marketing method that basically is just on automatic pilot. We'll take care of the lead capture mechanism for you, for those of you who leverage Click, Rank, and Bank. The automated sales presentation, that'll be taken care of for you. The robust follow-up system, that'll be taken care of for you. I'm going to come back, make a note. So I've got to cover the matrix, make sure I have time to cover all this. The matrix, setting up your matrix force. Bear with me. And if I have time, just putting what I know I have to discuss. So real quickly, let's go back and look back at my notes. Offer wall. Okay, all right. So real quickly. All right, so those of you who are in the system, you can use the offer wall. Points are part of the offer wall, though we don't see them just yet. Okay, everyone really wants to get some type of Android device. All right, even if you are an Apple snob, but like my wife is. All right, my wife loves her Apple products. All right, you want to get an Android device, whether it is a cell phone. You don't even have to get a plan. You just need the phone that's Android enabled and Wi-Fi enabled, okay? Or you can get a tablet, all right? Personally, I would prefer the tablet, okay? And the one that we just recently got is called RCA Viking. We got it off of Amazon. I think it was 100 and some change, 110, 120 bucks, something like that. I love it. I love it. It basically has a look and feel like a mini laptop. It's a 10-inch screen, so when I'm ranking and sharing, I'm not looking at a small screen. And because it's got a little keyboard, you know, I can be brushing my teeth, ranking and sharing. I could be in the kitchen, put it on the counter, ranking and sharing. I could be watching my sports news, you know, ranking and sharing. Of course, you can do that with your phone and all that other stuff, but this to me is just very convenient. So, but you want to have an Android device. Here's why. Because they're still working on the Android device. They're still finding little bugs here. They're still making improvements. And with Android, when they make improvements with Google, it's a very short process getting that app, reapproved. With Apple, it's a much longer process. As a matter of fact, we sent this out earlier today. Bear with me. And they explained that. Here we go. App updates for Android devices can be accomplished within a day or two of submission, while app update approvals for iPhone and Apple take a week or more per submission. So every time they make a little tweak here or there, that's a submission. So one of the things we strongly recommend is that you go on and get an Android device. Some of our folks were reporting that somebody the other day said that they took advantage of an AT&T offer, and their device was free. So they got a nice Android, enabled phone, whatever. All right, get an Android device so that the moment that they go live with new enrollments and the system is live again, you can immediately start ranking and sharing, because they still may not have Apple ready to go by the time they're ready to open up for new enrollments. Okay, they mentioned that they're going to go dark. They did not give a time frame. Part of going dark is going to be because they're going to move to much bigger servers to better serve us. Their wording, when the power is back up, we should be able to see what they call the TBS, which is the team building system? Team building structure, I believe. Okay, right now, what I can see my personally referred. Those that I personally referred, but what it doesn't show me graphically is who's on level 1, who's on level 2, who's on level 3. I can drill down and I can see my personally referred. I can drill down even further, all right? But I still can't see where is John, Mary, Susan, Catherine in the matrix, okay? That's what we're going to be able to see with the team building structure. Is your first level full? Is your second level full? Is your third level full? Fourth level, so on and so forth, okay? That's not there. Now, what they said is when they power up, they will bring up the TBS view, all right, the team building structure view, and that was in preparation for them to be able to pay us commissions. So it sounds like that whenever they go dark and then they come back up, that we're going to be, I don't know if it would be right away or very close to at least opening it up for new enrollments, and any activities that's taking place right now, okay, is already accruing points. We can't see them yet, but points are accruing, as well as commissions. Commissions are also accruing. Okay, so since I said commissions, let's make sure we understand the building structure. Okay, I want to make sure we understand the building structure. Okay, all right, so what we have is a 3x10 forced field matrix. I'm going to talk about this as if you have no idea what a 3x10 force field matrix is. If you understand it, great. Last time I shared this, I got questions from people that I thought would have understood it. So I want to make sure that I teach this in a way that, assumes you don't know what this is. Okay. What a 3x10 matrix is where on your first level, you can only have 3 positions. Now you can refer to the world. Okay, there we go. You can refer the world, but only 3 people can occupy your first level. Now, the 3 ways that people can be in your matrix. You are green here. And by the way, everybody sits atop of their own 3x10 matrix. So this red here sits atop of his or her own 3x10 matrix. This burgundy here sits atop of his or her own 3x10 matrix. This, what is this? Is this turquoise or aqua? What color is that? This person here sits on top of their own 3x10 matrix. Okay, so this person's 3x10 matrix is inside of your 3x10. Now, actually, their full 10 levels won't be because they're already on your first, second, third level. So they would have 7 of their 10 levels would be in your 3x10. This person here, the 2 levels from you, all right, so 8 of their 10 levels would be in your 3x10. All right, 3 ways. 3 ways to have someone in your matrix. Someone in your questions box, let's make this interactive. Tell me what's one way for someone to be in your matrix. What's a way for someone to be in your matrix? All right. Someone said spill. All right. So let's explain and keep those answers coming in. Let's explain what spill is. Okay. Now there's going to be a lot of people in Divvee that's going to over promote spill. We never want to over promote spill. Spill will happen. We just don't know who it's going to happen to or for. So that's why we don't want to over promote it. Because when you over promote spill, and in every matrix I've ever seen, in every binary I've ever seen, people over promote. And then what happens is people who do not get spill, or they don't get the spill they thought they were going to get because of the over promotion, then get maybe a little ticked off. All right, so we're never going to over promote spill. Okay, so let me show you what spill is. You're green. Let's say you immediately refer 4 people. Okay, there's nobody right now in your matrix. It's just you. You're green. You're starting fresh. You refer 4 people. Boom, right away. 1, 2, 3. Occupy your first level. Your 4th person must spill underneath one of these first 3. Now, what Divvee system does is it goes from left to right. So your first person would be here. Your second person in this example would be here. Third person would be here. And then right to left. So going on that second level, it would go right to left. So then what would happen is your 4th person would actually be over here. If you were to immediately bring on a 5th person, that 5th person would go right here. If you were to immediately bring on a 6th person, that 6th person would go right here. That really isn't all that, you don't have to worry about that because the system will automatically fill that in. But what just happened when you referred 1, 2, 3, and then this 4th person came into the business here, this 4th person spilled underneath red here. Now, you were not the beneficiary of that spill, but red was, okay? Red was the beneficiary of spill because now this burgundy person in their organization, if this person here goes to town, all right, maybe this is either a big builder already or someone that just buys into our message, and you know they're taking their cash equivalents and they're consistently on a monthly basis reinvesting, recapping back into their business, and then ultimately even on a weekly basis, and they're growing their team. This person, though you referred them, impacts red. Okay? All right. So one way is spill. Let's see what else we said. Okay? All right, good. Bill got it. Bill McKinnon said, hey, you brought that person in. So when you, green, brought on red, that person is in your matrix. All right? So you could have someone come into your matrix from your own personal activity, you personally enroll them. It could happen as spill from on high, meaning someone above you, just like here, where you 1, 2, 3, and then your 4th person spilled underneath them. Well, you could be the person that benefited from a very active enrollment line above you, and someone spilled into your organization. Let's say that this red person here, let's say that this burgundy person here may be spilled into your organization, okay? So that could happen. Are we going to bank on that? No. Are we going to over promote that? No, okay? Is it going to happen for some people? Yes, but we're not going to bank on that, okay? And then the third way, let's see. Good, John. John said someone in your organization sponsored someone. Okay. Now this is what's so cool about the way a 3x10 matrix works. All right. So let's say that this person here, burgundy, is spilled for you. Somebody from on high, someone in your leadership line, very active in building their business, and they ran out of room on one of their levels, and one of their new people spilled in your organization. And this happens to be this person here, burgundy here. Okay. Even though you had nothing to do with burgundy, burgundy's 3x matrix is inside of yours. In this example, burgundy is on your second level. So burgundy sits on top of his or her own 3x10 matrix. So that means that since they're on your second level, you would benefit from their first 8 levels. Now, look at this, all right? We know it's not a perfect world, but look at the number of people they could have in their first 8 levels. 3 on their first, which would be now if they're on your second, their first would be your third, all right? They could have 9 on their second. They could have 27. Let's go on and skip to level 8. They could have 6,561 folks on their level 8. Now, I mentioned level 8 because they're on your second level, so that you would benefit potentially from as deep as 8 levels of their 3x10. Okay. So the same thing here with turquoise or aqua. All right. This person is on your third level. That means that they have their own 3x10, so you benefit from their first 7 levels. And chances are you may not know this person, you may not know the person beneath them and the people beneath them, and so on and so forth. Now, in a perfectly filled 3x10, you could have just under 90,000 positions. We don't have to have a perfectly filled 3x10 to generate some whopping commissions. Now, let's do this though. Let's do this. I'm going to show you some numbers here. And we normally show these numbers when we're doing a presentation, but this is more of a training, so we get to dig a little deeper, okay? Now, here's how we maximize the compensation plan, okay? For every affiliate that you refer, for every qualified affiliate, let's use that terminology. For every qualified affiliate that you refer, you unlock a level in the matrix compensation plan. Now, let me tell you why this is very important, okay? And take this from someone that was once a part owner of a network marketing company. So I've been in the boardroom with the attorneys and with the compensation creators and with the advisors and what have you. One of the things, particularly, and I'm going to talk about this from a U.S. perspective, because it's the U.S. that tends to have all the, stranglehold type regulations, okay? One of the things that regulators do not like about matrices is when a person, let's say Red here, okay? Let's say that you sponsored Red. And you went to town. Red does absolutely nothing. Red brings nothing to the table. But you sponsored Red, and somehow these burgundies got here, and somehow these turquoise folks got here, and these people went to town, and Red sits on top of a 3x10 matrix, and Red's making all this money, but Red hadn't done jack. Okay? Regulators hate that. They don't want something that appears to be like a lottery type of deal, okay? So what they've done, which I think is brilliant, is they've said, okay, well, Red, if you don't do jack, You could have 90,000 folks, 88,572 folks in your organization. But if you don't do jack to help grow the business, then you're not going to make any money in terms of commissions. You'll still earn your points for your own personal activity, your ranking and sharing activity, but you won't earn commissions. In order for you to earn commissions, you got to do just a little bit. So what's that little bit? Number one, for every qualified affiliate that you enroll, you unlock one level. If you've enrolled one, you're qualified to earn from your first level. If you enroll two, you're qualified to earn from your first two levels. If you enroll three, then you're qualified to earn for your first three levels. So obviously, to qualify for all 10 levels, ultimately you want to have 10 personally enrolled qualified affiliates. Let's put this on the board here, okay? So ultimately you want 10 personally enrolled qualified affiliates. All right, now we need to define what a qualified affiliate is. All right, so a qualified affiliate, I'll just call it a QA for right now, is a person that has paid their affiliate fee or directed 750 points to cover the affiliate fee. And we're talking, that's not a month. I've heard some people say one time. I think it's annually. I'm going to say it's annually unless I hear the owner say something different, okay? Now, when they first go live with new enrollments, my understanding is no one will have to pay that fee, all right? So that allows us, that gives us a huge advantage when they first go live with new enrollments, because now we can get people enrolling for free. Now the day will come when they will need to cover either that fee or the points. When will that day come? Well, my understanding is it won't come until they are live in that country. So for instance, they're saying the US is going to be ready to go. Colombia, the country, is going to be ready to go. Very soon, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Peru will be ready to go. All right. My buddy in the UK, Cristiano, all right, that might be a little bit longer. So they're saying, hey, Cristiano, don't worry about paying for an affiliate fee right now. Don't worry about anything like that right now. You can accrue your points, all right, and you'll be able to earn points, and you'll be able to redeem those points at the Redemption Center. You won't be able to redeem them for gift cards until they are legal in your particular country. So why would I even, so why, if I'm not in the US, or if I'm not in Canada, or if I'm not in any of these countries that's going to be first, who cares? Let me just come back when they've got that ready to go in my particular country. Forget Divvee. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you can do that. All right, you have every right to do that, okay? Here's the thing. When you understand this matrix, okay, I want to be there at the beginning. I want to get as many folks in my matrix at the beginning. Because, see, I don't know who's going to take this thing and really run with it. I had a person that connected with me and said, hey, I've got a guy, and they're not even in the system yet. They're waiting, okay? They said, hey, I've got a guy. What was this? What? It was a gargantuan. Oh, they were promoting another offer that's in pre-launch, and in a matter of just a few weeks, this guy and his team grew their entire base of folks to 400,000 folks. Now, it was a free pre-launch. Nobody's paid anything, but he has a whole bunch of people that are paying attention to him, a whole bunch of people that are following him. And just as soon as new enrollments come back up, he's going to join. And, you know, not all 400,000 are going to join, I'm sure. All right. But that's going to be a lot more than if we weren't paying attention. All right. So you just never know. And as I'm going to show you with the numbers here, it doesn't take 90,000 folks in your organization for you to make 6 to 7 figures. You can make 6 to 7 figures based on the numbers they're sharing with us. You can make 6 to 7 figures with just, a few tens or a few hundreds. Okay. All right. So now, where were we? All right. So a paid affiliate. All right. A qualified affiliate, someone who's done the application, but everybody initially will be considered an affiliate because not everybody's going to have the ability to pay because they're not going to be in your country. All right. So when we first start and they open up new enrollments, everybody in here will be what they consider affiliates. All right. The second part of that equation is you need to do 100 activities a month. That's it. Okay. An average of 3.5 or so a day. And we should be doing far more than that. All right. But if a person just did 100 activities a month, that qualifies them as an affiliate. All right. Now, one of the reasons we're putting together our system called Click, Rank, and Bank, or CRB, is because we still know that even though it is a low outlay offer, most people are not good at recruiting. They need assistance. They need some push. One. Number two, we want you to ultimately build a very large personal enrollment team, well beyond the 10. I want you to get beyond the 10 because let's say you got 10 and something happens to one of those 10 this month where maybe they experience some hardship in their family, heaven forbid, and they have to take their eyes off business right now. They're not ranking and sharing or what have you, and now instead of 10 qualified affiliates for the month, you've got 9. All right, well, that might not hurt if you don't have a lot of people on your 10th level yet, but what if, look at the potential of the number of people that can be on your 10th level, okay? So I don't want the 10 to ever be an issue. And I know that most people, even though it might be a great offer, it is a great offer, a low outlay offer, even at the $50 when that comes about, that most people aren't good at recruiting. And that's not because they're not good at recruiting, it's because of the things that we talked about before. They're not consistently driving traffic to a lead capture mechanism with an automated sales presentation that's framed properly, okay? And then with a robust follow-up system that delivers over-the-top value so that ultimately, if people don't join right away, if they open up the email, they pay attention to the text message, they're more likely to join. And here's the big thing, not just join, but join you. That's important. That's important. In the marketplace now, people will often go to YouTube, go to Google. If you followed us for the last few weeks, last few months, you hear us talk about this all the time. Somebody goes to Google, they go to YouTube, they put in Divvee, and they see somebody with some video training about Divvee, and that person connects with them and they join that person. This is why you want to deliver over-the-top value so that when they finally hear the Divvee message, when it finally sinks in, they're more inclined to join you because you have been the one delivering value to them. They almost feel guilty joining somebody else because you keep bringing the value, okay? You don't have to be the content creator. And with our messaging that goes out to them, I never mention my name. I don't even say Doc, okay? I never even mention my name. So they wouldn't even know to come to me. All right? So let's get back here. All right, so to max out your 10 levels, you want to personally enroll 10 that are qualified. You actually want to enroll more than that so that you give yourself a cushion, okay? Now, let me tell you where you should start. Charity begins at home. Start at home. In my case, let's say this is me. I'm married. I've got 2 sons that are 18 or above. that are still, in my household that I'm still responsible for. Okay. So let's say I wasn't great at recruiting. If I sponsored my wife, I sponsored my son, my older son, I sponsored my younger son, and now they start doing their own activities, they earn the points, commissions roll up to me. So now commissions roll up in the family. And so what I strongly recommend that you do is anyone in your household or very close to your household, maybe your mom. All right. So the first person that I enrolled when I had the opportunity to enroll was my mom. Okay. Very first person, because I knew that as I go to work, she's going to get some spill. Now, I'm not going to over promote spill, obviously, when I'm presenting, but I knew that if she was on my first level, she can't help but to get some spill because of the efforts that we'll do. Okay? All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you, especially since it's free to start, especially since it's not costing anyone anything out of the gate to start, okay? If you are married, you've got a spouse, significant other, children in your household that are at least 18, that shouldn't even be a question. Get them enrolled, and get them enrolled first. They may not build a business. Want them to rank and share, okay? All right, so with my sons, now they're not at this point in their lives, all right? They wouldn't be doing webinars and what have you. Now, I believe that when my sons see the points and see what they can do with the points, I'm going to have them camping out at college campuses and connecting with people their age. And they're going to be able to show them what they're doing, and they're going to reach a whole crop of people that I would never be able to reach. All right? Some of your family members may never build the business side. That's okay. That's okay. Let me tell you the genius in what they've done. Let's say that you enrolled your spouse, or you enrolled your son or your daughter, or someone that you love that's close to you and your family. All right? Maybe they're not entrepreneurial. Okay? Maybe they're not entrepreneurial. You enroll them. You start building the business. They start having people falling in underneath them. Now, if they're not qualified, they're missing commissions. Okay? You think that might, especially if those commissions, or if there's a decent amount of folks there, you think they might ultimately say, oh, I better get to work here because I'm missing out on commissions. I know it works. They've got a testimony. They can come and use our CRB system. They can share what's going on with them. Heck, at that point, if they had to pay it forward, $50 a year, we're not talking about a monthly auto ship, monthly subscription. And so that's what I'm saying to you. Get your loved ones in this matrix. Now, look at how this now begins to grow. So this is you. All right. Let's say you've got 3 loved ones, whether they're in your household or mom or dad or brother or sister or what have you. Somebody that you've got some influence with, and they'll do it just because you said do it. Okay. And I believe all of us should have at least 3 folks like that. All right. So let's say you've got those loved ones occupying your first row. All right. Then maybe you've got some other folks, some other marketers, some other people that want to build a business. They may not be great at marketing yet or what have you. All right. And then so your 4th and your 5th and your 6th person comes in, but it's going to be connected to those people that you love. See, this is prime real estate. This right here. This is prime real estate. You would want to control or have someone that you love in control of this prime real estate. Okay. This is prime real estate. All right, especially if you're married, especially if you have a significant other, especially if you have children that are 18 or above, because now what you can do by referring those folks first is you position them where they could potentially make some really good money from the matrix in time. And if they're still in your household, that's another income in your household. So for instance, I'm ranking and sharing, I'm getting points, turning that to cash equivalents. My wife is ranking and sharing, points, cash equivalents. My son's points, cash equivalents. So now when my son wants some doodad, instead of him coming to dad, I'm going to say, use your gift card. What you coming to me for? And then I'm going to say, build the freaking business. Look at all those people you got underneath you, man. Look at what your dad did for you. Okay? My mom's not going to like the fact that I said freaking, but okay. All right? Prime real estate. Take advantage of that prime real estate. Okay? Take advantage of that prime real estate. Take advantage. Unfortunately, when I registered, I didn't thoroughly understand enough, because they were about to close for enrollments, that I didn't do it like that. All right, unfortunately. So I'm telling you, especially if you are either in the system but you don't have anybody, once you get in the system, you don't have anybody on your first level, or you just, just be joining, even if you have people that's going to be joining with you, if you can, occupy that first level with your loved ones first. Now, let me tell you what that would mean if you did that. All right. So let's say you've got 3 people right now that were going to join you anyway. I'm not talking about your loved ones. I'm just talking about 3 people. Okay. But you occupied that first level with your loved ones, all right? And then you brought on your 3 people, all right? So one's going to go right here, one's going to go right here, one's going to go right here, okay? And let's say that those 3 people, that not your family members, those other 3 people that are following you, they hear the same messaging, and then they occupy their first level with their loved ones. So one is here, one is here, one is here. All right. So each of these 3 outside on the right here occupy their first level. Now look at what's happening. You're already starting to fill up your 3 by matrix. And then maybe their folks share the same message. And see, a 3 by 10 matrix gets filled, and I'm not saying it's going to ever be completely filled perfectly, gets filled if everybody just referred 3. Now, ultimately, you want to refer what? A minimum of 10, actually more than that, to give yourself some cushion. And what they've done that is so brilliant is with you need to refer 1 to open up a level. If all of a sudden you've got this person here who heretofore has not been a producer, they've not been a marketer or what have you, but they start to see activity happening beneath them. In order for them to earn commissions based on that activity, what do they have to do? They've got to refer some. So this person here, all right, on their second level, there are 9 people on their second level. It's your third, but it's their second level. All right. In order for them to get paid from those 9 folks ranking and sharing, they need to refer 2 people. So let's say at this point they hadn't referred anybody, and they happen to have the first level full and the second level full. That could have all happened because of maybe initial spill, maybe these burgundies went to work or what have you. All right. Now let's show you what kind of money that could be. All right. Let's say they now have 12 people. 1, 2, 3 are on the first level, 9 on their second. They have 12 people in their organization, not a huge organization, okay? And let's say that I won't even say that they're averaging, those people are averaging 50 ranking shares a day, which is what we want to focus on. If they were just doing maybe 20 a day on average, that's it, 20 a day, and they were there's 10 cents being paid out, that's $720 a month that this person right here is potentially missing out on because they didn't go and get 2 people. You think they're going to go and get 2 people, even if they pay it forward, meaning they tell John, hey, John, do this. I'll even pay for it. Do this and do your rank and share. Do at least 100 of them. Yeah, they're going to do that because that's going to unlock potentially $720. Now, I don't know. I'm hoping there's going to be some type of mechanism that if they are losing commissions because they're not qualified, that they are being reminded. You know, I'm hoping, you know, maybe they get something in the back office, maybe they get a text message, maybe they get an email, I don't know. All right, so I'm hoping that they'll ultimately build that in. And so with that, that's going to help organically grow your matrix. We could even come down and we could say, well, let's say they just average 10 activities a day. 10 people just averaging 10 activities a day. That's still $360 a month. I'm not talking about a person that has bought into what we're teaching. I'm talking about your loved one. I'm talking about your loved one. I'm talking about your son, your daughter, your spouse, your significant other, mom, dad, brother, sister, in-laws, okay? What if those 12 bought into our overall messaging of being responsible for 50 activities a day? Now, all of a sudden, look at what that 12 produces, $1,800 a month, okay? All right. Make sure you understand, well, this is why we've been doing this. Make sure you capitalize. Now, some of you got into the system before the system went down. And when you open up the system, your first level might be full. Or your second level might have some people on the second level. Okay? What I would say is still do the same thing in terms of occupying as close to the top as you possibly can with people that are either in your household or closely associated. It might be your best friend, so on and so forth, okay? All right. Okay, now let's show some numbers here. And what really excited me, last week they released their compensation video. Now, the compensation video I think is good for people that are already in your warm market. It does not pour salt on any wound. And so I think you might get some people to register that already know you from that compensation video. That's not a video I would use going to the cold market, because when I'm dealing with someone in the cold market that doesn't know me from Adam or Eve, okay? If they see the messaging, they're likely going to go to YouTube. They're not likely going to just join right away at my link, especially if they've seen that on Facebook before. Somebody's posted something about Divvee. Maybe they've gotten an email before. They still haven't joined yet. Why are they going to join me just because they got a compensation video, a 5, 6, 7 minute compensation video? And it was well done, all right? But it does not highlight why they need to join you, why they need to join me, all right? We highlight that by providing immense value. And so we'll talk about that before we finish up. All right, so here, all right, so here's what our messaging is, all right? Our messaging is, our messaging is how our system is going to help people develop a 6, perhaps even a 7-figure business, even if they currently suck at marketing, okay? We're going to show them how to develop a 6 or maybe a 7-figure business, even if they currently suck at marketing. So they come in, they do their rank and share, they accumulate their points. It's particularly when their points can be converted to gift cards. They convert the points to gift cards. They take the cash equivalent, what they didn't have to spend because they used the gift cards. They reinvest, recap, a minimum of 50%. So if it's 1,000 and gift cards, 500. So $1,000 stayed in your pocket. We're going to take 500, and that's going to be your minimum marketing budget for the month. Okay. If it was 1,500, your minimum marketing budget is going to be 750. This is why, if you have loved ones, all right, get them involved. Get them involved. There are 4 positions that my family will have in our household. Yours truly, my wife, my sons, my 2 sons, okay? If my daughter, and she's nowhere close to 18, but if she were 18, it would be her too, okay? All right? And so that is going to allow for more cash equivalents. And even though my sons and my wife may not be the marketers, one of the things they will do is they're going to take 50%, minimum for them, 50%. For me, I'll probably do the 100, but 50%, and they're going to recap that back into their business. Okay? Even if, yeah, they're going to recap it back into their business so that they can build, because ultimately I got to get these positions, my wife and my 2 sons, I got to get them to where they're ultimately completely qualified for the 10 levels. Because as I build this, it's going to impact them as well. Okay? All right, so now, where were we? All right, so just 10 people in your matrix responsible for 50 activities a day. Now, you may not do 50 activities a day yourself. What they just instituted, it's what they've talked about, but they've just instituted it where they release 5 activities an hour. And that's so they can spread out the inventory throughout the day. So that gives everybody a chance to get some ranking and sharing in. That offer wall will also allow you to garner points, all right, and do activities. We're assuming that 10 cents is paid to 10 levels. That each activity results in, let's call it $1. And they are saying there will be plenty of activities that will pay much more than that. So instead of $1 or 10 cents per over 10 levels, it might be $2.50, 25 cents. I've even heard there'll be some activities that might be $4. That would be 40 cents over 10 levels. We're going to keep it at 10 cents. Okay? Now here's the key. So if on average there were 500 rank and shares happening in your matrix on each day that you were qualified to earn from, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is $1,500 a month. So what we've said is 2 things. We've said 50 to 100% of whatever you generate from your points as cash equivalents. And then this now would not be a cash equivalent. This would be commissions, because you override the ranking and sharing activities in your organization, not by points, but by actual commissions. Okay? So $1,500, we are saying that the minimum that you should use to recap from your commissions is a minimum of 25%. If you want to scale it quicker, then maybe you're doing 30 or 40 or 50. Even if you did the minimum of 25% here, that meant that you put 75% in your pocket to pay bills, to get out of debt, to do other things, to improve your lifestyle, okay? All right, 25% would be $375. So maybe you're using that $375, you're covering your outlay for the CRB portal, which is only going to be $30 a month. Maybe you've gotten the mobile marketing system. Maybe you've purchased a traffic course. Okay? All of that now you have a budget for. Maybe you went out and you did a small traffic campaign. You have a budget for that. On top of your cash equivalents from your personal activity. Let's say you generated $1,000 in cash equivalents for the month, and you took 50% of that, or 500. So if you add that to this 375, 25% of your commissions, now all of a sudden you've got an $875 a month budget. That's been the missing key. That most people had no budget for marketing. Or if they had a budget for marketing, they didn't have a lead capture mechanism with a great sales presentation to pour salt on the wound and then bring the solution and then have a robust follow-up system. That's what we're working so hard on with CRB. Now, if you've got emails into us, if you've got Facebook messages into us, if you've got text messages into us, we may not have responded. It's not because we don't love you. It's because I've got my head down working on this, so that as soon as she goes live, she being Divvee, that not long after that, hopefully just a few short days after that, we're going live with CRB. Okay? That's what 10 folks in your matrix. And it doesn't matter how they got there. It could have happened from spill. You need to personally refer a few to unlock the levels. Right here, what you see before you is 39 folks. We just talked about 10. And what we're building is culture. Because ultimately the whole game plan is for you to build a huge income stream, yes, but then for you to plant another income stream. Because now all of a sudden, when you are at 56 folks, doing 50 activities, 2,800 a day. So maybe it doesn't happen perfectly like this. 2,800 a day at 10 cents gets you to $8,400 a month. Why is that a key number? Because you do that 12 months out of the year, you've got 6 figures. Here's your 6-figure income. I've never seen a model that could allow you to do that with just as little as 56 folks being committed. Now, will you probably have more than 56 people in your matrix to get to these 56 that pledge allegiance and follow through on the pledge? Certainly. And I'm not even factoring those people in. I'm not even factoring in what could be tens or hundreds of folks that are doing 10 a day or 20 a day. And so now, let's say that your rank and share activity is generating $1,000 a month. You're taking half of that, reinvesting that back into your business, so $500 there, all right? And then here, you generated $8,400 in commissions. You took 25%. That's $2,100. So now that month, you've got a $2,600 budget. You've got your tools, you've got your resources, and now you've got a lot of paid traffic. I won't say a lot, but you've got a decent amount of paid traffic, okay? What if in time 10 people in your organization are at that level, that they have a $2,600 a month budget? Now all of a sudden you've got that impact your matrix, $26,000 in marketing that's impacting your matrix. What if that was 100 people in time in your matrix that have that type of budget? That's over $250,000 impacting your matrix. And the folks in your matrix now have the culture. What I'm supposed to do is drive traffic consistently. to build my list, to a lead capture mechanism to build my list, to provide immense over-the-top value so that ultimately I monetize. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the day could come when something else comes up. That's a great offer. That's a kick-butt offer. And we go back into the lab and we build out the same type of funnel that we do for Divvee. And now you got a whole team of folks without having to cross-recruit. You got a whole team of folks that say, I'm making some money, I'm ready to plant to start a second income, and then a third income, and then a fourth income. You making this kind of money, listen, don't make the mistake that I made back in 2011, 2012, where we were making goo gobs. And I didn't plant other income streams because I didn't know. I didn't take 25% of my income and reinvest back into my business in the form of marketing because I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And although we've done well, it's nothing close to where we could have been. And it's nothing close to where our following could have been. Had we been preaching this back then, we didn't know to preach it. That's why every webinar, you will not come on a webinar that I will ever do where I won't say something to this effect. I'm going to pound it, because Stephen R. Covey said to know and not do is really not to know. See, I heard this stuff, but I didn't do, so I didn't really know. So what happened real quickly, and I gotta show you some stuff we're doing with CRB. Here's what happened. When I finally got this message, I did this on Tuesday, but I want to redo this. When I finally got this message, I was promoting a particular offer, great offer, all right, not really constructed for the cold market, however, in terms of marketing it online with paid traffic, all right. I didn't know that then, but I had gotten the paid marketing message. I finally got the paid marketing message. I had a team that joined me with this particular offer, and everybody who was going to join me had already joined me, okay? So a couple months in, we see that our recruiting numbers are starting to slide in terms of new recruits because everybody that was going to join us had already joined us, okay? So then I went and I took $1,500, and I went out and I purchased multiple solo ads. So these solo ads are very easy. They don't require hardly anything from you. You just say, I want you to send out my offer to your email list, Mr. Solo Ad, Mrs. Solo Ad Provider. You don't have to learn traffic or anything like that to do solo ads. And so this wasn't some high-level traffic campaign. I just took $1,500 and I did maybe 500 in one solo ad and 400 in another and what have you, okay? 1,500 in solo ads. And what I did was I built out a robust follow-up system because I knew that most people weren't going to join me when they opted in and they went to the company's sales video. So I let the company, I sent them to the company sales video. I didn't do my own sales video. Now I would probably do my own sales video because I'd pour salt in the wound. All right. And what happened was I got roughly 400 opt-in leads into my autoresponder. And if you do the math on that, that comes up to about $3.75 per lead. I'm happy with anything under $5 a lead. Okay. I got 8 recruits. I got 8 people that joined me, all on autopilot. I didn't do any webinars. Those 8 people that joined me never came to a live webinar. All right, because everything was based on the opt-in, the sales video, and the majority of people joined me through the email autoresponder series that we had. Very robust. All right. I did a 30-day series every day. If they joined on Thursday, they got an email on Thursday, and they got one Friday, and they got one Saturday. If they joined on Saturday, they got their first email on Saturday, then the second one on Sunday, so on and so forth, okay? I had 8 recruits on autopilot. I had found the Holy Grail. So that all I would have to do is now, instead of 1,500, maybe it's 2,000 or 2,500 or 15,000. Man, if I had a $15,000 budget, and we did the same percentage, which was about 2% of our opt-ins, 80 recruits, all on autopilot. Now, the problem was with that offer, it didn't generate a lot of revenue. All right, it generated about $450 in first month commissions from those 8 recruits. So guess what? I didn't invest $1,500, and I did not go to my team and say, hey, invest $1,500. You might get 8 recruits. If you get the same percentage, you might get more, might get less, because I knew that most folks would not be able to stomach $1,500 outlay, and if they got the same results, $450 coming in, they wouldn't be able to do that the next month and the next month and the next month. That's why we're so passionate about Divvee. Because now my focus isn't on, did I get it all back the first month? My focus is simply on consistency. Consistently driving traffic. That's what the focus is. All right? If I get it, half of it back, a third of it back, all of it back, none of it back. Now that might just mean that my traffic source wasn't a good source, so maybe I need to look at another traffic source. But next month, guess what? I'm going to be driving more traffic because I've got my little sweat equity of doing my ranking and sharing, and I'm going to convert that into cash equivalents that's going to allow me to have a marketing budget, an ongoing marketing budget. All right, let me, I gotta do this real quickly because I'm past my time, or almost past my time, okay? I want to show you something that we're working on. Bear with me. Give me just a moment, please. And then we'll be getting to Q&A here in a few moments. Bear with me, bear with me. Almost there. Okay, so real quickly, just to kind of give you an update on Click Rank and Bank. By now, if you've been following us for any length of time, CRB is what we'll call it for short, will be our marketing and our training portal. We'll use Click Rank and Bank to promote Divvee. And there'll be other income streams inside of it so that you can start developing multiple streams of income. So we talked about the lead capture mechanism. You're going to have that from day one. Once you come in, you know, you're a newbie, you don't know anything about lead capture pages, don't worry about it, because you'll have plenty to choose from inside of the system. Here's one with a nice background. Here's one with an attractive young lady. That always works good in marketing. And I know that sounds sexist, and I'm just doing what works. Okay, that works. All right, attractive young lady looking you in the eye with a nice smile on her face works. If a good-looking dude, you know, worked better, then we would use that. All right. So in any event, so ladies, don't beat me up. This is why you see this is why you see ads on TV promoting a product, and there's nothing that even remotely talks about the product. They're appealing to certain things. Now we're keeping it a family show. Okay. All right. Now, the robust follow-up system. Let me show you something. All right. So for instance, all right, here's an example. We've loaded up right now the first 11 messages. There's going to be 30 messages. Now, if you have an autoresponder, already, you've got GetResponse, you've got Aweber, what have you, then you'll be able to use your autoresponder. You'll be able to tell the system you want to use your own autoresponder, okay? And or you can simply copy our messages, copy and paste, and put them in your autoresponder. If you do not have an autoresponder, we will have one for you internally. Now, ultimately, you want to have your own commercial autoresponder because you'll have more flexibility with your own. But we've designed this with the person in mind that is not a techie, that doesn't have those tools just yet, so that you'll have lead capture pages from the start, and you'll have autoresponder messages that bring value. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? All right, so this is what your subscriber will get. This is the 11th message, so this is just under 2 weeks. So here's our text. Today we're continuing our series to reveal to you the anatomy of a 6 to 7 figure biz. Remember, even if you currently suck at marketing, okay? This training was prepared especially for you. So remember, even if you currently suck at marketing, this training was specially prepared for you. All right, now what's going to happen is there's going to be a video link. Click here for today's training. All right, so they click there, and they're going to go to a training page. Well, good day to all of our awesome friends. I'm going to have my guy, he's got to change this a little bit so we don't have that plan all by itself. All right, but they're going to go to that day's training page. There's going to be a video. There's going to be a countdown timer, okay? At the end of this timer, there's going to be a button that's going to appear. You're going to see this in just a few moments. And when they click on that button, that's the call to action button. All right, so maybe they've been in the list, they haven't joined yet, all right, but they keep getting this value. Give me a moment, let me show you something. They got the first message says, shocking, 6+ figure biz, even if you suck at marketing. Maybe they opened it up, maybe they didn't. Next message, discover marketing secret sauce. Maybe they opened it up, maybe they didn't. Time for a laugh break. Need a pick me up? Here you go. This message here is a comedic message. All right, getting them to laugh again. Still has a call to action button that shows up. Turn your mobile device into an ATM machine. For Joe and Susie average, and not just for the big marketers. Let's meet up in the Cook Islands on me. Details inside. Designed to get them to open up, then designed to get them to click, okay? So now what happens, all right, you're going to see in 37 seconds what's going to happen here, all right? But when we go back to that messaging, we have today's training message in there that is going to be queued to you, meaning when you come into the system, you'll have a little place to put your Divvee referral link, your referral code, okay? And the system's gonna know that, so that when your person, your subscriber clicks on and they watch this particular video, it's gonna be coded to you. So when in 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all right? When the call to action button happens, they're going to click onto this button. The next page is not formulated yet because we have to wait for Divvee to launch, okay? There's going to be an instructional video on them joining Divvee, and there's going to be a link right there for them to join Divvee. That will be your link. Your Divvee link will be there. We will not have to say, get back to the person who referred you and get their link. It'll be right there. They'll be able to join you right there, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. As well as the second step would be to get the Click, Rank, and Bank portal. $1 7-day test drive. After that, it's $30 a month. It's going to pay a one-tiered 33% commission. So basically, 3 people that get CRB from you covers your CRB. Anything beyond that becomes profit. And then inside of CRB, there will be other income streams that you'll be able to generate, okay? So what we've done with these messages This is what we mean by a robust follow-up series, okay? What we've done with these messages is each message can stand, each day's training can stand on its own merits. So if they haven't watched any of the other messages and they just watch, if this is the first message they watch, message number 11, they would get immense value out of message number 11. What we also do is we say, hey, did you miss our last 2 trainings? And if so, don't worry about it. Hey, this is what we talked about 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we worked on the number 1 most important factor of your biz, you. Click here for that training. So maybe they watched this training. Maybe it's the first training they watch. They got value out of it. They come back and they say, I wonder what this is about. And they click there, and there is another page there, another video, okay, with its own countdown timer. The same button's going to pop up, the same call to action button, the same, if they click on that call to action, they're going to go. So this is what we mean by a robust follow-up system, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this person is going to be a lot more inclined to join you in Divvee than simply going to someone on YouTube who has not been bringing them value. And which, by the way, in the presentations, we don't say Divvee. We say things like the underlying platform, because we don't even want to say Divvee until we've given them enough value so that when they do hear Divvee, they're not so inclined to go to YouTube and sponsor shop. Instead, you're the one that's bringing them the value. So let's go back. I'm almost finished. And then we say, oh, yesterday we did a deeper dig. So maybe you missed 2 days ago. Hey, and the reason we did 2 days first is because even though they could stand independently of each other, they do build on each other. So if they watch this training and then they watch this training after it, then it's easier for them to really connect the dots. All right, so we got that training in there. Well, good day. And all right, so we've got that training in there. And each one of these pages would be coded to you. And then finally, we end the messages giving them a sneak peek of what to expect tomorrow, so they're more inclined to be on the lookout for your messaging tomorrow. Now, for tomorrow, we're going to change things up a bit. What kind of change? You'll definitely want to tune into tomorrow's episode. It's going to be epic. So it's designed to get them looking forward to your content. You're building that relationship. And oh, by the way, you'll notice at the very bottom, until tomorrow, we've got a little variable in there where it would bring in your name, a variable in there where it would bring in your email address, okay? You can always, you'll be able to come in here, and if you want to add things into the message, like maybe your Facebook handle or what have you, you'll be able to do so, okay? All right, so that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're working on with CRB. And we've got, we're going to have 30, a minimum of 30, it may be more, but we're going to have at least 30 so that we've got a message going out to them for the first month every single day. And we'll just pound that message and pound that message. And are you going to get some people that's going to opt out? Sure. Those people weren't meant for us. Not right now, at least. But what's going to happen is we don't just want people in your list. We want people that become rabid fans of yours. And so now, when they do join and get the portal, and then they hear us in our training saying, go back and check out your referrer showcase. Now, if you've never been on our trainings, you don't know what this is just yet, and I've got to end things so we can take some questions. But some of you know what we mean by the referrer showcase. See, what's happened is they've gotten a message, every single day for at least 30 days with value. Most people aren't going to join when they first see the first sales video. Some will, but most won't. So we've got a message going out to them, a valuable message every single day. So maybe it's day 3, maybe it's day 13, maybe it's day 21. They finally join you. They've seen some of that training. Now we've gotten them used to that. And so when they come in here to go in under tools for training or marketing training, and at the end of the video, we say, hey, go and check out your referrer showcase, the person that referred you to CRB, to Divvee. Go and check out their referrer showcase. See what else they have up their sleeve. See what else they have going on. And this is where you can put any and all income streams that you're promoting. And then here we are as an authority figure saying, go check it out. And oh, by the way, if you like what you see there, don't you dare go to YouTube. Instead, buy from them, join them, because we're family. Let's keep the money in the family. All right, so wanted to give you those updates. I am finished with the content. Let's go on and get to Q&A. All right, so let's see what time we have. I'm gonna take 20 minutes here, go to the top of the hour. Give me a moment. Okay, all right. Bear with me. Normally Queen is here to do my questions and answers, so I've got to, give me just a moment here. Okay, somebody asked a great question, Matt. Good to have you, Matt. I don't know if this is your first webinar with us talking about this content or not. All right, someone said, from my testing, will there be enough, do I feel like there'll be enough activity for a person to do 50 activities a day? Well, let me tell you, when they first allowed us to start ranking and sharing, this was first part of February, we were limited to 20 rank and share activities a day, okay? Then they said, we're going to open it up. We're going to let you do some more ranking and sharing, go on and have fun. And I think they were doing that more so to stress test the system, all right? And they allowed us to do as many as 120 a day. And several days I got to 120. A lot of times we were between the 90 to 120 a day. But I didn't think that that would be long term. All right, just from the standpoint of the numbers and the inventory, you know, if you've got a couple 100,000 folks, which I think they have a couple 100,000 folks registered. Now, obviously, some people are not going to be paying attention when they first open up, but I think it's going to be in short order before you really do have 200,000 active people, you know, doing something daily. You might have to have 1 million people to do, you know, to have that in the whole organization. What they started doing is releasing 5 activities an hour. All right. So what that is going to mean is obviously, you know, let's say you sleep 6-7 hours. I can't think the last time I slept for 6 hours, but in any event, you know, you're not going to be awake during those times, so you're not going to be ranking and sharing. And what they did the last week and a half is they allowed us for that to accumulate. So for instance, let's say they reset the day at GMT. And if you go to time.is/GMT, you'll see a GMT clock. So at 12 a.m. GMT, which I think currently is like 7 p.m. New York time in the U.S., they they reset the daily clock. So at 7 p.m. Eastern, all right, 12 GMT, you can do 5 ranking chairs if they have the inventory, because it could be that they've got so many people that don't have the inventory. And so you just check back in. So this is why I like my tablet, because I could be doing other things and just quickly check in to see if there's some inventory. If there's some inventory, go on a ranking chair. So I don't know that you're going to get 50 in a day yourself, okay? This is why our messaging is being responsible for 50. Now, how are we responsible for 50, okay? Let me go back to my messaging about our loved ones, all right? My wife, my 2 sons are not entrepreneurs. Now, I am going to have them reinvesting back to grow the business side, okay? But I still don't consider them entrepreneurs at this point, all right? So I'm also depending on their activities to help me meet my 50 mark, because what I want to do is I want to lead by example. I want to make sure I get 50 activities, because I know that feeds my upline. That feeds my upline. And if I'm doing 50, I'm responsible for 50 a day between me and my loved ones, and ultimately free customers. We didn't talk about free customers, Matt. We won't start off with free customers, okay? But when free customers are added to the mix, there will be people that will have no interest in being in the matrix, have no interest in the network marketing side. I can think of 3 people, 4 people right now. My Aunt Jan, my Aunt Barbara, my sister-in-law, Tiny, my brother-in-law, Jamie. Okay, great people, love them dearly. They're not entrepreneurs, but they would all be interested in being able to offset their spending by doing just a little bit, especially my brother-in-law, Jamie, because he's a computer guy. And I think in time he might even build the business. All right, but so he's a techie. All right, so he'll rank and share so that he can have those cash equivalents, whether it's $200 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever it happens to be for him. And so all of those free members ranking and sharing counts. And so what we're ultimately going to have is we'll eventually have some type of presentation to also get free customers. We won't start off with that. When I say we, I'm talking about what we'll do with Click, Rank, and Bang. We won't start off with that. Our focus is on people that are existingly marketers, because we want to tap into that audience very early on, before it's 1 million, 2 million folks out there. Okay, we want to tap into that very, very early on. So that's why our focus is on people that are already in the marketing sphere. So I don't know that you'll get 50 in yourself. That's why we've changed our messaging to being responsible for 50. Even if, let's say you had no family, to sponsor, let's say you didn't have any free customers or what have you. Even if it was 20, let's say you got 20 in, you should be able to get 20 in, all right, a day, all right? And you got 10 people that got 20 in, or you got 100 people that got 20 in your matrix. That right there, that's still crazy. I've never had a business where I could say, okay, if I got 100 people in, all doing a little bit of stuff, that's $6,000 a month. Okay? All right. Great question, Matt. Gail said, if you suck at marketing, you get Raz. I love you, Gail. Raz is our mobile marketing system, okay? All right, Mary is asking, so the $1,500 that we showed, all right, so let's go back to the numbers. The $1,500 that we showed right here, or whatever that number happens to be, she says that's cash, that's not gift cards. You're absolutely right, Mary, that's cash. That's commissions. So the Apple Store and Google Store, their terms and conditions prohibit people getting paid for downloading an app or what have you, okay, for their own personal what they're doing personally. So that's why there's a point system there that can be redeemed for. However, anyone in your organization, when they do their activity, they get the points that are redeemable. You and 9 other people, 10 folks, are getting some type of commissioning. So if it's $1, they're splitting that $1 by 10 levels, or 10 cents per level. So this $1,500 here would have been commissionable. All right? Great question. Now, on the commissionable side, our messaging is take at least 25% of that. We're not saying take 50% to 100% because we know that a lot of people, need that cash. Some people really need that cash. Others want to upgrade their lifestyle. All right. Others want to pay off some debt, and hopefully you're doing something constructive with that. But if you get a number of people in your organization buying into that concept, it's going to grow your matrix immensely. And not only grow your matrix immensely, but grow it with people that are consistently recapping back into their business. And that's where we start to build the culture. Great question, Mary. Dr. Chris is asking, will the call to action buttons, let's say they join you, okay? Will the call to action buttons drop off? No, they don't. Now, if you have your own commercial autoresponder, there's a way for you to go in once they've joined and basically to shut off the autoresponder messages. But I wouldn't shut off the autoresponder messages. I would let the autoresponder messages run because each video is more value. You're bringing them more value, and it's starting to really indoctrinate them with our message. Dr. Chris, what happened for me, the reason it took me so long to get this messaging, when I first came online in 2008, and I heard the messaging in 2008 about building my list. I heard the messaging about paid marketing. But I had been in the business since 1994. I had 14 years of indoctrination of talking to my friends and family and doing home meetings or doing hotel meetings or restaurant meetings or what have you. And there was no discussion in that 14 years about paid traffic, paid marketing, building an email list, certainly nothing about a SMS text list. So what happened was it took a while for me to be re-indoctrinated with this type of messaging. What we want, yes, we want people joining us, and yes, we want people ranking and sharing. We want people that really buy in, And so in the internal side, the internal autoresponder side, meaning if someone doesn't have their own autoresponder, the system is just going to continue to send them these messages. And again, what we've done with the messages is not just join me. Yes, there's going to always be a call to action button. It's going to be there. All right. But it's value. Some of the things I talked about tonight about, you got to have steady traffic. This is the stuff that we're saying. This is the stuff we're saying through here so that people start to get it. Because to know and not do is truly not to know. A lot of people just don't know. And we got to hammer it and hammer it and hammer it, okay? Give me a moment. Okay, Robert asks, I like the way you're thinking, Robert. Robert asks, in a perfect world, what happens if you fill your matrix? Well, listen, first off, be honest with you, I've never seen a full 3x10 matrix, but we've never seen a model like this. I will tell you that in 2011, between 2011 and 2012, we were promoting an offer. It had a 2x20 matrix, and I don't know how many are in a 2x20 matrix. I know we wound up having about 250,000 folks on our team. Now, obviously, we didn't have 250,000 folks that were really connected necessarily because they were so deep. So Robert's question is, well, what happens if you have a completely filled matrix? Okay. Well, Robert, you're probably retired. You've got some other streams. His question is, well, what happens if you bring on somebody then? Are they lost to you? Let me tell you what. So this is what happens in the matrix, okay? You could have a full matrix, people beyond your 10th level and still get paid on that activity because the system is going to look to pay 10 levels of qualified affiliates for those commissions. So let's say, for instance, let's say Turquoise right here, okay? They do some rank and share activities, all right? Well, if Burgundy is qualified because Burgundy has personally enrolled at least one person, Burgundy gets a commission. Let's call it 10 cents. Let's say Red is not qualified because Red has not referred two people. Turquoise, did the ranking and sharing activity. Turquoise is on the second level. Red has not personally enrolled two just yet. So what happens there is commissions would skip Red. So right now, one person's been paid Burgundy. Let's say that you are qualified. You'd be the second person. And so the system's going to pay up until 10 people have been paid. So you might have people on your 13th level or your 15th level that you're getting paid from their activity because there were other people in the lineage that were not qualified. Now, Robert's question is, can you take a second position? And you can't technically take a second position, but you could certainly have a loved one. All right, you could certainly have a loved one. And Robert, the reality is you're probably going to have some empty spots in your matrix. So let's say that you're building this matrix out, and you're starting to fill that matrix up. To be honest with you, you should be generating so much revenue that you don't even have to worry about it. But just from a pure, I want to maximize everything, find a family member, find a loved one, find someone that you can impact, and that would also find somebody. All right. Again, in my case, my mom, my dad, my wife, my two sons. Not everybody has that. Some of you have more. Okay. Now, one thing that they have been insistent upon is that there are unique, fresh eyeballs looking at the the videos. All right, so that's one thing we want to make sure that we've got unique. So, for instance, with my sons, I'm not going to be the ones watching for my sons. All right, they need to be doing that. They need to be fresh, unique eyeballs. My mom needs to be doing that. Okay, fresh, unique eyeballs. Okay, great question, Robert. I'm going to take one more, and then I'm going to have to call it a night. Okay. Someone said, asking me, will I be sending out this webinar? The answer to that is yes. Yes, we'll be sending out this webinar. We should get this webinar out. Let me tell you what happens. All right, I take a day where I do no business, and that's on Saturdays. So typically, I try to get these webinars out on Friday afternoon to our audience. If it doesn't go out on Friday afternoon, then it'll go out sometime on Sunday afternoon, and we'll send an email. So you should be in our email list by virtue of you being in our on the webinar. You should be in that webinar list. We'll also do a push notification. Okay. For those of you that are my RAS folks, we don't typically post this type webinar to the RAS surfboard because we're not talking specifically about RAS here today. But you should be in one of those lists, the webinar list or what have you. So you should get that post that we'll be sending out. Now, when we launch CRB, then we're going to post all these types of videos in CRB. Okay, that way you'll have a library. So if you miss a night or you need to see it again, Cristiano, man, I appreciate you so much. My folks there from the Gold Coast of Australia, I appreciate you guys and Guyette so much. You keep me going. This is why we do what we do. But my gosh, it's got to sometimes, you guys are getting on the webinar and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And I appreciate that. We're going to have that library in the back office there, so maybe you'll get some sleep. I'll miss you. Come see me every now and then. But we'll have that in your back office. That really wasn't a question. That was more of a statement. So I'll take one last question. Let's see here. That person is gone. Okay, so Kevin asked, this will be our last question. He says, do I think that Divvee will be able to provide enough activities to accommodate the numbers of people that we all need to create a 6 or 7 figure income? That's what they are saying. What they are saying is that they will have the inventory. Now, it may not just be watching the videos. So today they talked about the offer wall. There's and if you're not already in the system, it's hard to really explain it. But basically, in the app there's a little place. There's actually 2 places where they have these various offers, and we gave some examples. There was one if you just downloaded this particular app, it gave you 27 coins. Now, I don't know if that would mean 27 points or not, all right, because I don't know what coins and points, what that relationship is. If you gave your opinion on obesity, all right, so you would earn points, and those would be activities, all right, and so they're saying they're going to have a number of activities outside of just the watching the videos. Now, here's what we know. Okay, I'm doing our numbers based on 50. Even if those numbers were lower, let's say people weren't averaging 50, they were averaging 20. Okay, if they were averaging 20 and you had 100 folks in your matrix, you're at $6,000 a month. That's $72,000 a year. All right, let's do the same thing here at 250. So at 250. If you had 250 folks in your matrix, just averaging 20 activities a day. So somebody's is being responsible for 50, somebody's doing none, okay? That's still $15,000 a month. So yes, I believe, to me, the key is that 10 cents. If we are averaging 10 cents per activity, to me, that's a big key. Because even if it wasn't 50, if it was 20, then still to have 250 people in an organization to generate $15,000 a month, where else can you do that? Because in most businesses, all right, a team of 250 folks in a nutritional biz, and I'm not foo-fooing on nutrition, would probably average about $3 a head. About $750 a month, maybe $4 a head, maybe $1,000. So, Kevin, based on what they are saying, I'm going to go based on what they're saying, because so far they've either kept their word, or if they missed time frames, they came back and told us if they missed a time frame and why. And my father-in-law said this: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So far, they've shown me to be people that do what they say they're going to do, and if they can't do it in the time frame, they don't just act like, oh, we didn't say that. No, they come back and they tell us, and they continue to communicate with us. All right. Now, obviously, we've got to be prepared for it might be a rocky start, because the floodgates come in, and I think how they administer the rank and share activities is probably going to be fluid, depending on the number of people, the inventory they have, and so on and so forth. So we're going to have to be mature enough to understand that, all right, and not get overly frustrated if we go in and no content was available. Okay, well, go back to doing what you were doing, and then, periodically go in, check on your phone or check on your tablet and see if there was activities there. And when there are activities, make sure you do as many activities as you possibly can for that time period. Okay. So, Kevin, I understand your question. I've had the same question. I'm going by what they are saying. And even if we have, now I'm showing 50, if we've got to adjust that, if we come into the real world and we see that that's not quite happening, we'll adjust these numbers. All right. And so, I played around the other day, for instance. Yeah. Like the other day, I wasn't sure if 10 cents was going to be the number. So I was wanting to see, well, what happened if we had 1,500 people in our organization that averaged 20 ranking shares, but we only got 3 cents. And that still came out to 27,000. So what if this was 10 cents? That's still $1 million. All right. So maybe it took, instead of 560 folks doing 50 to get to $1 million a year, maybe it took 1,500 folks. Okay. In time, Kevin, here's the big deal. In time, you should have a team of well more than 1,500 in the matrix, because of the culture of people consistently driving high quality traffic to a lead capture mechanism. I haven't even talked about mobile marketing. We've just talked about emails for right now. All right, to a lead capture mechanism with a robust follow-up system. You cannot do that consistently and not generate results. When I showed you the example, and I'll finish with this, of when I did the $1,500 ad campaign for that month, and I got 400 leads, and I got 8 recruits. Those people did not know me. I did not do any live webinars. It was all cold traffic going to a lead capture mechanism, sales video, and the sales video isn't even what I would now promote, okay? Because that sales video did not pour salt on the wound, did not remind people of their frustrations, and this is why you need this offer. Okay, that's what we're going forward. Anytime we ever do any marketing of any offer, if that presentation that the company has does not pour salt on the wound, I'm not using that presentation. I'm not saying you can't use it. I'm not using it, because I found out from 8-figure mentors what the recipe is. Got to pour salt on that wound. Pour salt on that wound. Pour salt on that wound, so that people are clamoring for your solution. So, with that being said, you guys and guyettes have been amazing. Wow, most of you are still here. And unfortunately, I just don't have time to get to all of your questions. Listen, if you have emails into me, if you have Facebook messages into me, if you've got text messages into me, and I have not responded, it's not because I'm ignoring you or I don't love you. It's because I've got my head down so that we can have this portal, at least the lead capture pages and the email system. There might be some other content that I want to get in there that won't be there once we launch it. but I want to make sure that that is ready to go within days of them launching. And, you know, balancing being a husband. My wife goes to some type of treatment every single day. She's doing much better, by the way. She's doing much better, but she's going to some treatment every single day. I'm in a role now with my children that I usually wouldn't have to be in, but until she's completely recovered, again, she's doing so much better, so much better. So I'm balancing that, you know, being husband and father with putting together all of this. And if I go into Facebook and I start with those messages, or I go into emails and I start with those messages, it's going to take away from the most pressing things right now. So just bear with me if you still have some outstanding responses. We'll get to it. All right, we'll get to it. Just bear with me. All right, so thank you for your patience and your understanding on that. We love each and every one of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Click, rank, and bank. Good night, everyone.